Hello, I'm Nandan from my YouTube channel with Nandan. Today I want to share with you about the CBSE student. The final examination is coming 2022, but 2021 they have the term 1 examination. So the main problem for CBSE student, they're the practical examination. You know this pandemic situation, we couldn't continue that class. But as a fashion designer, as a teacher, as my responsibility, especially my video student. So it's my concept. Each page wise, I'm telling you the chapter 2 is the practical exam. Whatever this have our practical things is the patterns and that one. Each page I want to share with you. Very simple things is very easy way. I think it's 2-3 class I can finish that one. So please stay with me and please continue the practical classes for the CBSE. Okay? Okay, so let's start, my dear student, that I mentioned before. I will start page wise. So chapter 2 is a basic pattern development. This is the point. Here is pattern making. Introduction of pattern development, its origin. Here mentions how we'll do a proper pattern making. You have a option there too. You have to choose first measuring correctly, another knowledge of techniques with which is they are applied. So very simple things is pattern cutting. If you want to do the proper pattern, you have to take a proper measurement. And the next point, knowledge of techniques. Yes, every field knowledge is the main thing. Is here is the knowledge about the pattern cutting, knowledge of technique with which is the applied. The next way here have how many process we are conducting now. This one is block method. Yes, we are using the block method, and another is proportionate system. So two things is here. First page, introduction. There have through process, measuring correctly, knowledge of techniques with which we are applied. Next one is proportion system and block method. So first page nothing. Second page also here in the pattern cutting pages, page number 32. I want to show you, this is a page number 32. Same things is just give an introductory. To just go through this one simple way. I don't want to waste your time. So we'll turn to page 33, the main parts. Main part is the pattern making. So what is pattern making? Here, whatever I am giving you out of this books, what is pattern cutting? Pattern cutting is an exciting craft. Yes, if you go through this one, human figure, just like if you think about this, you have to do the pattern cutting for the human beings. So just a craft, as a craftsman, just like a sculpture. So you know the sculpture is to work. So this is the way pattern cutting is an exciting crafts. Okay, and here in CBSE book they mention also the same way. Pattern making is a process. Is of course the process of transforming a design into the constituent in the flat pattern piece and then drafting them out. Initially, in one day, in my video, I shared with you. Today again, I am telling about any kinds of designing. You have to start from mood boards. Mood board means your inspiration. Mood board 2, you will take your design, and design 2, you can continue design development sheet, and the things is pattern making. Whatever your creation means, you will work as a fashion designer. So you have to create a new design. A new design means new dress. Here we'll go through this new garments, new design. This is the way. So pattern making is a process of transforming a design into a constitute flat pattern piece. So initially flat pattern, then drafting them out. Drafting means initially the block to your design. Like in this is your the main parts is this is the neckline. This is armhole, this is shoulder, this is armhole, this is waist to touch to the hemline. Whatever, maybe your design is this kind of, maybe the front is open. Okay, so you have to take the measurement wise every patterns. Maybe another part is your pattern is this way. like till this one red color, this is black color. So you have to make it patterns, and then you have to add with this the seam allowance, because seam allowance is a big parts. Okay, so you can understand the pattern making is that. Again, I'm telling about pattern making is the process of transforming a design into a this is considered flat patterns pieces and then drafting them out. Very easy way. The job of pattern making, it's a part of, basically here mentioned, we are following also this one, the Armstrong. Armstrong actually, he was a very good pattern maker in all over the world. Still they are following, this is Armstrong. Okay, so this is Armstrong. Basically in 2000 they portion this one, they first time start the block method. It's a, what is the block method? So what is block method? Block method is for daily where we are using. Basically the research work wise, some human beings, they give a size, like in M size, L size. This way is 40, 42, 42 chest line. We know when we are purchasing the garments, we see the size wise. So the block, for lots of people we can use this pattern. This is the block method. The same things just I mentioned, Armstrong. Armstrong is basically Armstrong also mentioned that the two things is, that is your involvement in pattern meaning can be divided in two parts, namely measuring correctly, that I mentioned before. You have to take proper measurement, and knowledge of techniques divides includes necessary seam allowance. So measuring the human body is the main parts. Slowly we'll go through this one. So in 33 page number 33 in this chapter 2, so what is the flat pattern method? Here the mentioned flat pattern method is a method body or dress from measurement are taken for developing a pattern. Flat pattern method means is they have to take the first is the measurement, and measurement wise you have to draft. Like in this is your open parts. So you here have the measurement is the shoulder line, then the armhole, this is the fullest point of the bust line, then the waistline, then the hip line, and then the last. So this measurement you have to go through the pattern cutting process, and you just continue this. Very, very simple things. Slowly in the next page we will continue. Here we are continuing the page wise. This is the first, what is flat pattern method is a method. The body or dress from the measurement are taken for developing a pattern. Following a logical process, here the three parts is there. The basic block includes easy allowance, which allows the body of the perform the variety and normal body function, require the movement of the various body parts. The method is logical and easy to understand. So flat pattern method. So here this point, what is pattern making I mentioned, and the two process, one is flat pattern method, another is draping method. So flat pattern method means you have to take the measurement each by each, like shoulder, armhole, bust line, waistline, and hip line, and you have to drafting. You have to measurement wise you have to take you have to put it one. This is your flat method. And the draping method, this is you have to just drape the garment. This is a very primitive time we are using this one. Is the oldest pattern making method, and it's generally this process still we continue some time. The first, it is the oldest pattern making just I mentioned, and is generally creative approach. So if you want to create something different kinds of designing, is a method of pieces of two-dimensional fabric is draping directly on a dress. On the dress you just drape on from a figure directly on human beings you can drap on that. Otherwise, on the body, like on the mannequin, you can do this one. So flat method, it is that. In another episode, I will show you how to do the flat method. We have in CBSE, one is sketch, another is basic bodies block. Definitely, I'll show you that. So draping method is that you just take material and on the human beings, or on the I'm telling about the dress patterns, on the dress parts, on the mannequin, you can just drape on that. You know that draping these words, you will get the answer. So that another place is the terminology block slopper. The block or slopper of them given a basic block of the pattern pieces used to making additional pattern. This is the style of terminology. This is, we'll finish this page number 34 one by one. I'm trying to share you in this very few time. You can understand what is pattern making, what is the process, how many processes there. Just I mentioned there's 2 processes. This is the terminology. Now we'll go for the pattern making. Page number 35, my dear student. Here is the pics. This is name of the block. Means different patterns is different shape. You know, top is a different pattern, different shape, automatically different pattern you will get. Skirts, the shape is different kinds of, so automatically you will get a different kinds of pattern making. So here is the name you have to understand. Okay, this is name of the block, skirt, front, bodies, back, etc. This is skirt pattern. Okay, this is the skirt, basic skirt. The sizes, this is the dart, we'll go for the next one. This is here the sleeves pattern. The pixies, this is armhole, this is the sleeves part, and this is the our hemline of sleeves. This is the waistline, this is the dart, this portion the hip line, and this is the hemline. So easily you can see what is the pattern, and this is the basic bodies block. You know, this is shoulder, this is armhole, because front and back together. This is armhole, this is side seam, this is center front, this is center back, this is center front, this is dart, this is also the dart point. So basic bodies block is look like this. Okay, so this is basic bodies block pattern. The next one, what is the grain line? Grain line means whatever your pattern, which is the middle portion. Like in this pattern, you see center front or center back should be maintained. Here I'll show you. This is center front. So you have to maintain the proper distance. From center front to this distance will be same. This is called grain line. Why grain line is neat? Because the weaving, because I will show you here very little way. This is the weaving parts. So when we'll weave the garments, so this is sometime in width, sometime in long time. So if you change the pattern, automatically you will get a hanging apple. So in the pattern making, you have to maintain the grain line. Grain line, whatever the pattern, the middle parts, that is called grain line. Okay, here is the name of the block. This is the skirt front that I mentioned, bodies block, etc. This is the grain line. Okay, and also this one, the sleeves. Here some size wise, because you have to understand when you will join with this practical fields, when you will start, maybe in future you want to start as a fashion designer. So this is your initial stage when you are studying fashion studies and CBSE this class. So you have to understand that's whatever the size is, whatever the size was, why is the number. So here, this is the size 32, 34 and 36. This is the size. 32 bust line, 34, 36. So this is is in, we will get it this one, S means small, medium M, and this is L. So this you can understand, 35 page only this. Okay. So the next one, the following should be included on pattern. The grain line. What is grain line? I mentioned the middle parts of this. This called is grain line. Okay. This called is grain line. Okay, my dear student, I'm just taking very casual way that you can easily you can understand. This is, I mentioned, this is the bodice block, page number 36. Again, this page, the pics they put it. This is our skirt pattern, but here is the seam allowance. You see, this is seam allowance. Whatever. This side is your seam allowance. The following should be included on pattern. Here, how many things you have to include in the pattern? One is grain line. You mentioned one is grain line. I told you what is grain line. The middle parts, as this part is, this is called grain line. Every pattern, if the middle portion you have to maintain, that is the grain line. Means is you cannot change the patterns, otherwise pattern will get the hanging apple. Okay, center front and center back. Center front, what is this one? This one is here in the skirt pattern. This is center front. Center front is in middle. Means in this page, this is called center front, and the back side center back. And this is your side seam. You see, this is undress. This is side seam. So center front you can understand, and center back means the center line, the front is center front and center line is the back. This is center back. Style number or code number. So what is the following should be included on the patterns? Grain line, center front or center back, style number or code number. Like in style number is, this is, you have to put AB to 01, here AB identify type. So style number and code number. Third in pattern piece. Pattern piece you need in skirt front, skirt back, side front back. How many patterns you need? Very simple things is, you need a sizes like in 32, 34, 36, that is like SML. Cutting information. How will cut? You need a information properly and clearly. Okay. You need the notches, the mark that are needed for the help the garment section correctly that you need, and direction of the fabrics. This is also the important things is direction of the fabrics. For fabric which have the design in one direction, such as floral, print, stripes, plaits, velvet, fur, etc. Like this. This is your fabric. This is a print. This is the print. So this is the floral print. This is the floral print is coming. So this is the your it's coming from up to the down, because this is the rules wise. The same things in the check you have to follow that one. Okay. So the this is of the directional of the fabric you have to maintain, and the of course the data you need. The next one. So 36 page, we already passed out this 37 page. Yes. Seam allowance. What is seam allowance? Seam allowance. The amount of seam allowance required for the each seam line may vary depending on the location and end purpose. Generally, this is the measurement following the. Okay. So what is this? Why need seam allowance? Because when you want to create a garment, okay, so you will take the measurement, but human figure is stretchable. You have to move. You will just put down. You just you want to run. You want to walk. So you have to put it extra. So whatever the measurement may be, the measurement you will take the 36. But when you will start the ready pattern, this is the 36. So it will be too tight. So you have to put it on pattern. Extra is seam allowance. So side seam allowance, this is, I'm telling about, this is side seam allowance. This is the neckline. This is shoulder seam allowance. This is hem seam allowance. Here they put it the measurement. For sharp curves, okay, for the curves line means is the neckline, and every curves line, whatever the curve you will get is, this is 1/4. 1/4 means if we will take, it's a 1 inches is a 4, that is the part in 1 inches divided by 4. So automatically it will be half quarter centimeter. If this is 1 inches, if we go through this one, if this is 1 inches, this is half inches, this is quarter inches, and this is another quarter inches. So 1/4 means 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to take this one part. This is, you can understand, for the sharp curves is 1/4. Half inches for the neckline, armhole. So half inches for neckline, armhole, waistline, and style line. Okay. 1 inches seam allowance for side seam means this is your side seam. This is side seam. Okay. This is all our side seam. Side seam, center line, shoulder. Okay. So center line, shoulder. Okay. Plackets. These all are 1 inches. 2 is your hemline seam allowance. This is in the hemline, you can take 2 inches. Okay. So this is seam allowance, is already take it. And the another part is seam allowance. This is the muslin. Muslin is the material. The next part is muslin. Muslin is used for making test fit. Means it's just a trial basis when you want to take a garments. So this is the test fits, that is basically one of the material that is woven cotton fabrics. Available is in light and the medium and heavy weight. It depends on lightweight. Heavy weight means is thick, is depend on thickness. Okay. Medium quality muslin is generally used for test fitting and draping. Okay. And what is the grain line? Is give the point. Page number 37. Grain line is a line drawn from end to end, each pattern piece, to indicate how the pattern should with the lengthwise grain of the fabric. So again I'll show you. This is grain line. In the grain line is a line drawn from end to end to end on each pattern piece to indicate how the pattern should with the lengthwise grain. Means you have to maintain the proper distance. Like if the straight line, you have to maintain the proper distance from here. This one have to maintain the proper distance. Okay, that is called the grain line. So my dear students, I will come back for the next one, for next page 38 for the next episode. So please continue this one. I think is 3-4 episodes we can finish it. If you like this one, my dear CBSE student, please do share it. Please do like it. And if you cannot understand, please give your valuable comments. So I'll get the inspiration, and based on this energy, I can create more videos for you, for my dear CBSE student. Tata, bye-bye.